On July 10, 2023, I started a Threads account with 17 followers. Since then, I've grown my account to over 3,800 followers. Started the first Threads newsletter where I analyzed hundreds of top performing posts that collectively had over 100,000 likes. Build my email list to over 230 subscribers and created an online community with over 115 members for Threads creators, and it helps them reach their first 1,000 followers. In this lesson, I'm going to give you 5 real steps that you can use to grow your Threads account. If you follow these steps, you can ignore all the growth hacks from people who made videos about this stuff 10 months ago when Threads just came out. And all of these people were claiming to be experts about a platform that had literally just been released. These 5 steps are proven and backed by my own experience, as well as the experience of all the other Threads creators I've helped reach that 1K milestone. But before we get into what those 5 steps are, we need to address 2 key things. The algorithm blame game. The algorithm blame game is when you're stuck in a cycle of blaming the social media algorithms for your lack of growth, instead of actively doing something to increase your impact. I was playing this game when I started on Threads at 17 followers 10 months ago. I'd been posting at that point every day for a month and had only connected with like 10 people. If I wanted to grow, I knew something had to change. After all, the definition of insanity is to do the same things repeatedly and expect different results. Insanity is playing the algorithm blame game, and here is why. You don't have any accountability or control. Saying it's the algorithm's fault is dodging the blame and feeling like you're at the mercy of changes you can't control. This just puts you on this never-ending roller coaster of stress and frustration. Trust me, it's not fun. Focusing on no accountability, your brand is the foundation of all of this. And the only one responsible for your brand is you. If this were in a diagram, fucking love diagrams, it would be personal brand, audience building, great product, impact lives. Can you see the point? Accountability and brand go hand in hand. If you don't take accountability for your brand, no one else will, and it will die. So this relates to the next sort of sub-reason about having no control when you play the algorithm blame game. MJ DeMarco, author of The Millionaire Fastlane, said it best: if you don't control your system, your money tree, and your brand, you control nothing. This leads to the next big problem with playing the algorithm blame game. You have no growth. If you give up control and just rely completely on the algorithm, at some point, your growth will either just plateau or completely decline. No growth means you have no audience to serve. And without an audience, you don't have a business. That's just a hobby. And so the vicious cycle continues. Algorithm blame game, no accountability, no control, no growth, no audience, no business. But here is the secret to breaking that cycle: the compound curve. The compound curve says that small, regular actions create exponential growth and credibility over time. Basically, this is just getting at the importance of sticking with audience building long enough so you can benefit from the compound interest that it yields. And the compound curve has 2 main benefits. The first one is fast feedback loops. The sooner you start receiving feedback on your writing, the faster you'll grow as a writer. And the best type of feedback you can get in the context of a platform like Threads is through data like likes, reposts, replies, and views. Data is so powerful online because of how fast these feedback loops are. You can post something on Threads and get feedback in the form of data, such as likes, within seconds. And yes, these feedback loops and how quick they are, they can be scary. You might be wondering, well, what if no one likes my posts? Trust me, I get that, and you probably will feel this at some point. But they are your greatest asset to build an audience at least 10% faster than anyone who doesn't use this sort of data. Next major benefit behind the compound curve is exponential growth and credibility. So taking a look at growth first, this just refers to real engaged followers. The following quote from Paul Graham, who wrote a great article called How to Do Great Work, encapsulates this whole idea of exponential growth so well. He says, if you do work that compounds, you'll get exponential growth. The more fans you have, the more new fans they'll bring you. The trouble with exponential growth is that the curve feels flat in the beginning. It isn't. It's still a wonderful exponential curve. Take this for an example. Chris Williamson, he's the dude behind the mega popular Modern Wisdom podcast said in one of his kind of recent episodes, we accumulated more subscribers in 1 month than we did in the entire first 3.5 years of the show. That is the sort of exponential growth you get through the compound curve. And finally, the next big benefit is this: credibility. And credibility refers to various signs online that you know what you're talking about and are worth listening to. When you follow the compound curve, you build up 3 sort of layers of credibility on top of one another. The first one is implied credibility, and this just refers to the quality of your content compared to others in the category or categories that you're writing in. Perceived credibility includes signals like media features and followers and achievements, accolades. And then earned credibility is a sign of experience in creating the content consistently over time. Earned credibility is the one that's the most underrated, and it's the most important. If you just follow the compound curve and use the fast feedback loops, over time, each layer of credibility will build and grow exponentially. So we need to avoid the algorithm blame game and then do everything in our power to benefit from the compound curve. And here is how we do that. Operation 1K, how to win Thriends in 5 proven steps. Yes, I did just say Thriends. It's a term on Threads and it refers to Threads friends. Thriends. Operation 1K is a proven 5-step process that helps you get your first 1K followers on Threads. First step is to optimize your bio. At this point, you need to optimize 3 parts of your bio to show anyone who comes to look at your profile that you're a main character and not an NPC. Main characters are players in the creator economy. They're the 1% of people using the internet as leverage to have a profound positive impact on other people's lives. And then NPCs are the other 99% who are basically just controlled by the social media algorithms. These people just consume content and they never create anything. To show other people that we are a main character and not an NPC, first thing you want to try and optimize is your profile picture. I would do this by firstly jotting down a few words that define or describe your personality. And once you've got those words, try and design a profile picture that reflects them. If you're having trouble doing that, just draw inspiration from other creators' profile pictures that you like. Point here is to actually put effort into creating it because after all, you are a creator. You are creating content online. So it doesn't hurt to create a great profile picture. You'll know if it's great if it says, look at me, I am not an NPC. I am a creator. I'm a main character. Next part of your bio you want to optimize is the actual bio itself, the text part. I recommend you use this formula. Writing about topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, building, insert newsletter name. Basically, that is what Dan Coe told me to use inside the mastermind thing that I'm in with him at the moment. And it's just simple and effective. If you don't know which topics to write about, brainstorm 10 things you're interested in, and then just order them from your top interest to your bottom interest and select the top 3. Don't overthink this part, just do it. And then if you don't have a newsletter, start one. I recommend using Beehive. There's an affiliate link below where you'll get first month free and then the next 3 months, 20% off. I use it because the design's really nice and I like aesthetically pleasing designs, and it is all optimized for newsletters. It's purpose built just for newsletters. And then finally, the last element you want to optimize is the link in bio. And here, just include the link to the newsletter you've created. All you need to do here, if you don't want to start writing the newsletter yet, is just create a welcome email and say that you'll release the first issue once you hit 1K. And that way you can build your email list while you build your audience. And that is step 1. Then we move on to step 2, post 3 times a day. The best way for you to learn is not to perfect one post, but to post thousands of posts. This example illustrates the point very nicely. An art teacher conducted an experiment, split the class into 2 groups, Group A and Group B. Group A was tasked with creating a single perfect clay pot. Group B's task was to produce as many clay pots as possible. 1 month passes. The teacher reviewed both of the groups' work and found that Group B, the ones that produced just as many clay pots as possible, actually ended up with a clay pot that was near perfect and better than Group A. So the moral of the story here is that sheer volume of work was key to getting better. That is why you should post 3 times per day. And if you don't know what to post about, that's why we brainstormed those 3 topics earlier. Just post about 1 topic per day. That brings us to step 3, engage like crazy. When you're in the early days of this journey, you cannot expect anyone to engage with your posts. You gotta go out there and make the first move. Find people you'd like to follow and learn from, ideally with a similar follower count to you. Leave a few thoughtful comments on a couple of their most recent posts, and then follow them. The point here is to make this person feel like, hey, this person is really into my stuff. I would feel bad if I didn't follow and reciprocate, so that's what I'm going to do. And then do that for 10 people every single day. From there, make it a point to reply to every single comment you get, ideally within 24 hours. Little side, don't worry about your follower to following ratio. It doesn't matter, especially in the early days. And on Threads, it's not that visible. You can only see how many people are following you. Once we've got the bio set up, we're posting 3 times per day, we're engaging like crazy, we then turn to step 4, create engagement group. By this point, if you've followed steps 1 to 3 for a couple of weeks by now, you should have connected with at least one other person that you can join forces with to create an engagement group. This term of an engagement group or engagement pod, it's kind of stigmatized, but if we think about how it relates to the real world, it's pretty clear that we're all in engagement groups in real life. Just think of it as though you're inviting some of your friends to come and watch you play in a soccer match. Your post is the soccer match, and then your friends engaging with that post is just like them cheering you on by the sidelines. All engagement groups do is make sure that your post gets seen by friends who probably wouldn't see them if they just relied on the algorithm. Just like your friends probably wouldn't come and watch your soccer match if you didn't tell them about it. On the topic of engagement groups, if you want to join the ultimate engagement group, or rather community, come and join Saints College. It is my free online community for Threads creators, and I basically just give you the shortcut to get to 1K. Moving on, we go to our final step, choose 3 data-driven topics. At this point, we want to use feedback, and this is referring to data that we mentioned earlier, such as likes, replies, reposts, and views, to find 30 or thereabouts of your top performing posts. Once you've got those top posts, you want to categorize them based on what sort of topics they talk about. And you can do that manually or by using ChatGPT. Once you've categorized them, select the top 3 performing topics and then update your bio to reflect those topics. And once you've got those 3 data-driven topics, start posting about 1 per day to get to your 3 posts per day. If you continue following these 5 steps, you will reach 1,000 followers at least 2 times faster than anyone who is stuck playing the algorithm blame game and literally just declining, ending up with no growth. But most people won't follow these 5 steps because they're not sexy. My advice to you, don't be like most people. This stuff works, I promise. Simple summary. Algorithm blame game. It's when you're blaming social media algorithms for your lack of growth instead of actively working to increase your impact and followers. The compound curve refers to small, regular actions to create exponential growth and credibility over time. Finally, Operation 1K. It is a proven 5-step process that shows you how to win your first 1,000 Thriends on Threads. And finally, here is the lesson. It is the one thing you should take away from everything we've discussed so far. Overcome the algorithm blame game and reach the compound curve through Operation 1K. To wrap up, here is some motivation for you to go and start that 5-step process right now. Something that grows exponentially can become so valuable that it's worth making an extraordinary effort to get it started. If people consciously realize they could invest in exponential growth, many more would do it. If you are one of those people who realize how valuable this exponential growth can be from the compound curve, come and join my online community, Saints College. Me and the other creators will help you implement every single step of Operation 1K, and the whole community, it's 100% free. I have nothing to sell you. Check out the link in the description to join because we might be reaching capacity soon. Haven't quite decided whether we're going to cap it at a certain number of members. Anyway, that is it for this lesson. Keep it simple until the next one. By the way, about 1/3 of people who have been watching these lessons have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you're part of that group, please subscribe. I've just crossed 100 subs and the next milestone is 150. I would appreciate it so much if you help me get there. And in the meantime, if you want to keep learning about weird stuff, check out the video somewhere up there.